We still start.
Oh man. Well, bro, it's probably gonna miss this rule, but I was gonna say there's a certain subset of
I can hear, bro. I can hear.
Okay, there's a certain subset of websites that we should not mention during the pre-show question. We all know that certain subset of websites. So, you know, we got a full show today, man. We got a full show today. You know, we got a lot going on in the world, but again, we here to talk some sports. We here to take your mind off of everything that's going on in the world, and so we really do want to push some good content out here in terms of, you know, talking to y'all about these championship games or the divisional round in the NFL, the national championship game in college, and we'll take a look at how the progress is going for a certain bet. Oh man, my wallet feels a little heavier already, boy. It feels great. But before we get into that, we have got to talk about TikTok being banned and then unbanned. That ban lasted as long as Jody and Yvette stayed off of each other and baby boy. And we're right back. So we'll get into that and which apps or websites being down would have had us in shambles as, you know, at whatever age. Just any point in time in life, if this app or website goes down, you'll never be able to live again. Y'all ready to get into the show, fellas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, let's do it. We know it's been too long, but we back, baby. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's the favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Axe crew. We got the master, the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building. We got the money man, the man of the plan, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here, right here.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, Kenton Gibbs. Now, fellas, what is an app or website that if it would have been banned, if it would have been taken down, you would have been devastated? No. Yeah. 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 That's a good one. That's a good one. That boy Guyton used to be on them unforgivables heavy. He used to be on the, better not be having no brothers. Better not be having no brothers. You know, that used to be Guy. Chris, what's the app or website that if it would have went down, you would have been just, hey, you out of there. You go ahead and take me out with that.
YouTube was a good one because, like, you know, if you went to
YouTube
college,
was a great school.
YouTube Academy was all you needed in college, bro. Like, you miss a class, you like, I wasn't gonna learn nothing in that class. You know, he didn't even speak English, so you hop right on YouTube and you figure it out. So YouTube's a good one. But for me,
Yeah.
if it went down, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Not gonna hold y'all. If they had to ban ESPN, if they had to ban ESPN, now I do watch other things outside of sports, but it's only shows that have like drug related thing or like very popular shows like The Chi, Snowfall, Power. That's all I watch outside of sports. When I cut TV on, I just put on ESPN background noise, bro. I literally don't. I have cable for ESPN and TNT. Pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
I don't watch nothing else. So if ESPN was ever to be like banned and we can't do that, I would really have to figure out what else I actually like watching besides sports, bro. Like I would really have to figure that out. I'm a movie guy, but movies only so long.
I feel it. I'm gonna tell you, mine similar vein for different reasons. Netflix when I was in college. If they would have took away that Netflix, man.
Hey yo, bro, I can't take you serious.
No, not good. Hey, no, it's not even like that. It's not even like. See, that's how. See, this how I get treated. This how I get treated. These baby brothers be chopping me. Chopping me.
That was the first thing I thought of, bro. That was the first thing.
No, because hear me out. Y'all don't understand. As a college football player, you like literally when you were in camp and stuff, you never knew when your favorite stuff was gonna be on. You were gonna be in meetings and all that. Like you just didn't have time. So like, and even when camp is over, just through the season, you were gonna be in voluntary meetings at night. So like you couldn't watch your favorite shows whenever you wanted to watch them, but but Netflix was just getting hot to where you could literally like, oh yeah, I got an Xbox. I'm gonna go ahead and, whoop de whoop. Not because of the reason that you think it, Chris. Yeah, I mean, hey, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn. We still had to go to Blockbuster. When I was in college, what was gonna happen was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like that's not. I would have just been in Blockbuster. Hey, let me go ahead and get this Goodwill Hunting or whatever. I don't know, whatever some background noise movie is. Not nothing too good. Just something random. So that's what mine would be. But anyway, folks, we are very glad that TikTok is back up because again, what an app! What a fun app! What just a nice little addictive app that we all know. Yes, this stuff is like a digital version of Franklin Saint's product, but it's still fun anyway. But we've got to talk about something that's much less fun. We've got to talk about something that's much less enjoyable. The playoffs. 2/3 of this show, all three of us are from Detroit. Obviously, 2/3 of this show, big time Lions fans and whatnot. And
hey, bro, I'm not a Lions hater. You ain't gotta throw me like that. I mean,
I said big time Lions fans, Chris. I didn't say you was a hater. You just don't, you know what I mean? Like me and Josh was in the trenches with the Lions. We was 0-16.
We was watching John Fitner, man.
That's why I'm not a Lions fan like that no more, because I was in the trenches. I can't do the trenches forever.
Let me tell you something.
Man.
Let me tell you something. Where I'm from, we put folks down for switching sports teams allegiances. My cousin still get jumped at every family function talking about, oh yeah, I'm a Patriots fan. How? You ain't never been to New England. You don't need like clam chowder. You allergic to shellfish. What do you mean you're a Pats fan? But yeah, that's just what it is. But fellas, we got to start off with a morning of the 2024 season for our Detroit Lions. It's over. It's over. Just like that, one and done in the playoffs. The NFC North as a whole, 0-3 in the playoffs. Just a tough time. What do y'all make of this loss to the Commanders?
I'm gonna be very critical. I'm gonna be very critical of the Lions. And last year I gave the Lions some slack. We had that huge lead against San Francisco and we blew it. But at the same time, the lights were too bright. We were a young team. We hadn't been in that position before. We overachieved. But this was the year to where we had a chance to solidify ourselves as one of the big dogs in the league. Did I think we were going to make the Super Bowl? No, I'm not going to be as blind as other Lions fans. I'm usually pretty realistic about my teams. I keep my expectations real. We had too many injuries to go even if we were at home, we had too many injuries to beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia is too stacked of a team. They got experience. I didn't think we were going to beat Philly. but a team with a rookie quarterback, a team with the 30th ranked run defense in the NFL, and we only handed the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs 13 times? Jared Goff had five turnovers. By the point he got the 3, we were only down 3 points, I believe. When Jared Goff had his third turnover, we were only down 3 points, and we still had an entire half to pound the ball because it works successfully. We almost had 300 rushing yards as a team, and I think between Gibbs, J-Mo, and Montgomery, I think they had a total combined like 23 carries between the 3 of them. And our yards per carry was over 10 because we were going against the 30th ranked run defense in the league. And I don't know if it was we were trying to be cute. We were trying to show that we could run all of those trick plays. If Ben Johnson had already had a deep dish pizza order and it was getting cold, so he was trying to get out of there. I don't know what the case was, but the Lions...
the cheese is under the sauce. The cheese is under the sauce. Get that, man.
The Lions made it to the biggest game in the season,
Speaking of,
and we fumbled.
Yeah,
we fumbled. Yeah. I don't know why, but we didn't show up.
I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because Ben Johnson been watching too much wrestling. That's the problem. He heard that HBK theme song and he said, "I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy." That's my play call. That's gonna be my play call. 3rd and 1. You have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in your backfield. Why are you going empty? My brother in Christ, why are you going empty? Sometimes this be my problem with those super genius offensive coordinators. This be my problem with those, hey, this guy's an offensive prodigy, offensive coordinators. Sometimes they have to prove they're the smartest guy in the room instead of just saying, no, wait a minute. Football is still an organized gang fight, and we got better thugs than you. We got some guys that just move furniture around. They pick guys up and they throw them out the club. Like you know, when you go downtown to go to that club that don't want black people there, but they don't say it. They just put 30, 50, 11 rules in. You know what I mean? Hey, no hats, no gym shoes, no jerseys, no long white tees, no tight white tees, no joggers, no socks showing, all that type of stuff. And you just hate niggas. It's okay. It's all right. The Detroit Lions offensive line was moving like that, getting guys up out the paint. And what did we do on 3rd and 1? We gonna go empty. Yeah. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And everybody's like, oh, our guards shouldn't have got beat like a drum. Why would you put them in position to be beat like a drum? If it's 3rd and 1, run the ball. Run the ball. It's just that simple. And even beyond that, when you see Jared Goff can't stop throwing it to the other team, don't get me wrong. Mike Sanders is a hell of a corner. He's a hell of a corner. When you see that he can't stop throwing the other team the ball, why is he still throwing it? What are we doing?
I don't get it.
And of all players that I would trust to throw a pass, when I am down, not the player that got caught with the handgun. Not the player that hit the full ground hump like he was hitting the crybaby in middle school. Not him. Not that guy. You didn't trust him to throw the ball, did you? Again, I'm not saying Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator, the Lions is upgraded just by getting rid of. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he definitely got too cute. He definitely got too big for his britches. And now look where we are at the crib, sitting here saying, defensively with Aaron Glenn, hey man, what of the 16 guys on injured reserve, I believe all or most of them were defensive.
15
of them were defensive. For those of you who don't know, a 2 deep for any roster is 22 on either side of the ball. Of 22 possible starters, 15 out. Or of 22 possible players who were going to play a lot of snaps, 15 were out. Hey, just kind of stop the floodgates. Just do your best. And by the way, I will say this about Washington. I'm going to give them all their credit. But is Cliff Kingsbury not exactly what I told y'all he was? I said for years, He's a hell of an offensive coordinator, but do not let him be your head coach.
Yeah.
I'm not a barb, but to quote the great Nicki Minaj, did I lie? Did I lie? You know, he's got this rookie playing the best ball we've ever seen. So, you know, great season, 15-2, most wins in franchise history, sweeping the division. I mean, it's a sweep. Nobody came close. But, you know, it still is disappointing in the end. Chris,
I will have to say real quick, man. That boy Jayden Daniels, I don't think I've seen a rookie quarterback in a very long time with that good a decision making under pressure.
Here's the thing. I really and truly believe that, like, and I know this is going to come off as me hating, and I'm okay with that. I really and truly believe when you look at the game plan of, like, blitz and run man all day, like, if you're a decent quarterback.
Why we play man. Like, I said, by the end of the first quarter, we should have went to zone, but I don't play football.
Yeah, if you're a decent quarterback, you could probably tear that apart. If you got some wide receivers that can separate from that, especially when you're seeing some of the injuries that you're seeing, especially when Amik Robertson went down with the broken arm. At that point in time, like, I get it, you want to stop them, but, like, you just gotta, like, leave it at that point and say, you know what, we're gonna go zone and make them work their way down the field. Yeah, they're gonna get the errors, but just make them work for it, as opposed to, like, hey, y'all gonna cook this up easy. Yep. Chris, what you got for us on the Lions game now?
All right, man. So when I say this, I am not hating on Detroit. I love my city. I really do. I really love my city that I'm from. I really went to Cass, not Rennie. Like, I'm really from Detroit, right? Really from Detroit.
He transferred off the city. He's a liar. He's never wanted to be one of us. He's never wanted to be one of us.
Anyway, yeah, I used to ride right past Gibbs when he was getting off the D-dot. Right past him. Anyway, since you want to throw
for the first year and a half, after that, you say, get me away from these pores and these colors. I need, if it ain't snowing, Chris ain't going. You notice he only moved to places that's real cold. You see, from Boston to Chicago, I'm just saying. Listen. We do the knowledge on facts over acts. We do the knowledge.
Listen. It's all good, man. It's all good. I love my city. But I got two words. Overconfident and overhyped, right? How long I've been telling y'all I do not believe Jared Goff is a Super Bowl winning quarterback? I say Jared Goff is fantastic if you don't have to have him drop back 30 times a game. If you got a 1-2 punch like Sonic and Knuckles, yeah, Jared Goff is perfect for that situation. Think about the time when Jared Goff was successful in LA Rams. Gibbs, remind the people in the jury who his running back was.
Todd Gurley. He was one of the best.
One of the best backs in the league. And Jared Goff looked like he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Honestly, Todd Gurley is probably one of the most underrated and forgotten running backs of all time.
Ever. There was
a stat a few years ago of, like, most touchdowns from, I want to say it was like 2008 to 2020 or something like that, or 2023 or something like that, and he was still number 4, and he hadn't played in years. He hadn't played in a few years. So.
Right.
You know, so, a hell of a player.
When Jared Goff only got dropped back 20-25 times, yeah, he's a very good quarterback. I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. You tell me I got 2 great running backs, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing. Y'all remember when we was at Cass, right? In Detroit, right? And we thought somebody on our team was an All-American until we went against another team that was an All-American. So it was like, hold on. That's All-American. Okay. Ben Johnson, come to the stage. I'm on you now. Thought you was that guy until Cliff Kingsbury came out and said, oh, I'm not a head coach no more. I ain't got no more pressure. I could be offensive coordinator. Hold on now. Hold on.
Wait a minute. James Young really did, like, he really did go dust that game.
Hey.
He went so crazy. I'm like, oh my God. Bro, hell! This shit
Hey, bro. That's how I felt watching that Lions game. I was like, hold on, Clint Kingsbury cooking. I text y'all. I think I said, why he so cold now? Like he cooking. So now I'm like, was Ben Johnson really that, or is like this is one of them situations? And I think it was one of them situations. Don't get me wrong. Because of this season, he earned his head coaching job with Chicago, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I live in Chicago, and the fans here, they're pretty happy about it. They've been talking about it all day, the last 2 days. So I think it's a good thing. But I think they got out coached on the offensive side of the ball. The defense did all they could. But at the end of the day, you can't run man blitz against a quarterback that is doing practice simulation on everything you might throw at him before the game, two, 3 times before the game. Right?
Yeah.
And his mind been working on this game for 7 days. He's ahead of his time, in my opinion. Him telling the Commanders that LSU did this for me and I need y'all to do this for me, and they did it, and he's showing these kind of results, just tells me he's a little bit ahead of his time. Now, I know people say simulation's not real, not that, but the biggest thing I'll tell anybody, right, and going to college told me this, right, I have never used calculus 1 through 4 ever in my life, but I had to take them in college. But what it helped me understand was how to critically think. So now, even if I don't know the answer at work sometimes, somehow, some way, I think about it long enough, I can generate an answer and get results, right? So even though it might not be the real deal, I still think it's beneficial. And I think Jaden McDaniels is really, really showing his leadership at a young age that I think that they might pull an upset against the Eagles as well. I really do. Especially because Jalen Hurts got hit funny and his leg wasn't the same that second half. The Commanders literally were only a quarterback away from being the best team in that division 2 years ago.
I very strongly disagree with that, but we'll get to that later. The Rams and Eagles, since we're talking about Jalen Hurts and that hit, anything surprising come out of that game? Was there anything that y'all saw where you're like, I wasn't expecting that as much, but it happened? Anything there, or was it pretty much a straight board, hey, we saw what we expected, moving on type of game?
Yeah, that game is pretty much moving on. I expected the Eagles to win. I guess I get a Rams credit. A lot of people said that they would make it deep in the playoffs if they had the chance, and I didn't. I wasn't drinking the Rams Kool-Aid, but I mean that's just a veteran squad that's been together for a couple of seasons now. But the team that I expected to pull through with the win, pulled through with the win.
You know the nastiest part about the Rams game? They really were an Aaron Donald away from winning that game.
that is facts.
It's like it sucks because it's like, oh, we want players to retire when they want to retire on their terms and all that, but like, Aaron might have left one on the table if you catch my drift, because that Jerry Verse and Fisk on the inside, they are going crazy together, man. What a duo they are, but they were outclassing this one. Chris, any thoughts on the Rams and the Eagles before we move over to the AFC?
No, I actually had Rams winning that game. I was actually surprised. I really just didn't believe in Jalen Hurts as a passer. And truth be told, he still hasn't really shown us he could be a passer in the playoffs. But he don't got to. That's what I didn't factor in. I thought he was going to have to. I thought he was going to have to at least.
Look at that. Look at what happens when your offensive coordinator goes, wait a damn minute. We got 2,000 yards of production in this backfield. Give that boy the damn ball. Look what happens, y'all.
I was surprised. Like, honestly, I thought Stafford was going to pull another one out. I thought he was going to get to the Super Bowl this year because he got his team healthy at the right time. They was clicking. I mean, offensively, if it wasn't no snow, he would have had even more yards. Even with the snow, his team dropped a lot of passes they usually catch. I mean, I was thoroughly surprised. But when it comes down to the X's and the O's, sometimes that don't matter. Saquon showed you, like, look, give me the ball. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to make a play. And he made 2 phenomenal plays, and that was the difference in that game. So, shout out Saquon. The Giants, hey, whoever is in Giants leadership, I want y'all to take a long look in the mirror at yourself. And y'all know that meme where he started drawing a Joker makeup on himself? I need you to just start doing that to yourself because ain't no way y'all chose to pay Danny Vick over Saquon Barkley. Let's just think about that.
And this is the part that keeps blowing me about this. Look at all of the teams that are left in the playoffs, shall we? You have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback for one. You have Josh Allen at quarterback for another. You have Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. But you know what? All of those teams also have elite weapons around those guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that those quarterbacks, in terms of all time, I think most of them are like pretty good. I don't think that any of them will go down as great. Like, oh my God, he is one of the ones. Except Mahomes. Except Mahomes. Yeah, except Mahomes.
Okay.
Except Mahomes. I think Mahomes will go down as like, he's going to be in the GOAT conversation. He's going to be in one of those ones conversation. I think Josh Allen is like, he did good things for a couple of years. It was really exciting. I think Hurts will be remembered maybe slightly below that unless whoever wins the Super
I think
Bowl.
the tush push gonna do him so much justice in the future.
But that's the thing. I think the tush push is actually going to have a reverse effect. People going to look at him and be like, wait, he's got a bunch of rushing touchdowns, but all of them look like what? Man,
No. I get you. I get you. The same thing they did with basketball in the 90s. They're gonna be like, oh, that's all he did. But he changed the game. Like the teams that were remaining, 4 of them did the tush push. Right, the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, and the what's the name? I'm drawing a blank.
The Commanders, the only other team left.
The Chiefs. The Chiefs did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I get you. I again, on the grand scale, I think that you build around, and then when you're ready, get that quarterback. Because when you build around and you get the quarterback, your team, that quarterback is going to be cheap, and you're going to have a team that's already like, look
at the roster for the Commanders 2 years ago. 2 years ago, that roster was a quarterback away from being this team.
I'm going to tell you this much. Honestly, it's the reason I got excitement for the Lions. Because when I look around and I say, listen, all of these guys are not all-time greats. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be an all-time great to get to a Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl. We saw it with Nick Foles. We saw it with Trent Dilfer. We saw it with multiple guys. You just have to put a great team around them, which in today's NFL, hell, that's damn near cheaper than paying a great quarterback. And by the way, I'm still not stopping my Lamar to the Lions propaganda. Still not stopping that. Never going to stop that. Hey, listen, I'm just saying.
Let that go. Let that go.
Laporta wouldn't have dropped that pass.
Let that go.
Laporta wouldn't fumble on you like that, brother.
Can we get into the Ravens now? Can we get into the
Derrick Henry?
This is the second time. I was like, this is the second time Mark Andrews done that. Right?
Hey,
It's the 5th time. It's the 5th time.
Fifth?
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry about 31. Them locks starting to look a little unlocked. They starting to look a little thin.
He already cut him.
They starting to look a little thin, I'm just saying. But we do have to talk Ravens Bills because once again, Lamar puts on a playoff disaster class. Fellas, what has happened? And actually, let me not say that. It wasn't Lamar putting on a disaster class. It was just the Ravens, once again, not making a play in the crucial moment that loses them the game. Fellas, what are y'all thinking about Ravens Bills? What do you walk away from this game with?
I'll jump in first right here, guys.
Yeah.
So the Ravens and the Lions played that Spider-Man meme at each other because I don't know why they both did the same thing. They both stopped doing what got them to this point in the season. You have Derrick freaking Henry.
Yeah.
And you didn't start running with him until the second half. The second half. Derrick Henry, somebody that was on par to tie Saquon Barkley. I don't understand it. Justice Hill was balling. Lamar couldn't stop running against the goddamn Steelers. I was like, who gonna put a QB container? He wouldn't stop running. And all of a sudden you want to be Peyton Manning? What is going on here? What is going on here, man? I think the Ravens and the Lions and Steelers got all the same thing in common, right? Other than Dan Campbell, right? Tomlin and Harbaugh, y'all honestly need to go get a fresh start somewhere else. Now, me being a Steelers guy, I love Tomlin, but we're going to be a middle of the pack team every year with Tomlin because he's a good coach. And we're never going to get a good draft pick. We're never going to be able to go in a direction because he's going to want a team constructed the way he wants a team constructed. Harbaugh, same thing. Your team is always going to be decent, but it's nothing but getting older. Mark Andrews was in the car accident. We didn't even know he was going to play this season, and you decided to go with him as your 2-point conversion, right? So I just think that the Ravens getting older, the Steelers getting older, both teams. The Bills didn't even win that game to me. The Ravens lost that game.
Yeah. I look at this once again and I say to myself, to drive down the field 90 yards to score a touchdown and then miss that 2-point conversion. Oof.
Mind you, they had Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Oof.
If I lose with Derrick Henry toting up the middle for 2 yards, I lose.
And that's the other part of this thing for me. Like, again, why do we keep overcomplicating football? Why? You know the gravity that Lamar Jackson has. You know that most guys, if you put Lamar Jackson and him 1-to-1 and like, hey, this is what it is, we're going to figure it out, like, you'll be okay. Just run a little bit of read option. Just run a little bit of, you know what? This big old 235-pound battering ram, go get me 2.5 yards. Go get it. Go get it. And instead, you know, you always need to get out to the perimeter. You always need your tight end seeping out to the flat. And it's just so disappointing. It is literally just so disappointing. And, you know, at the end of the day, when I look at this game and I look at what has happened, once again, I can't even blame the Ravens defense to say, oh, y'all got cooked. Y'all couldn't stop a running. No, they did.
They got 6 stops.
Everybody talks about Josh Allen as the MVP, but at the end of the day, you held the MVP to 126 passing yards. 126. You held their running game to virtually nothing as well. I just don't get it, man. I just really and truly don't get it. And another thing I don't get is this Chiefs devil magic. Fun fact about this week's divisional playoff. This was one of the first times in NFL history all 4 losing teams outgained the winners.
Wow.
All 4. All 4 losers had more yards than the winners. So what does that tell you? And by the way, I hate to keep bringing this back to my Lions. This is what tells me go get Robert Saleh. Because Robert Saleh is the master of bend but don't break defense. And it's very clear from these playoff games. That is the recipe. Bend but don't break, force turnovers on occasion, and you'll be all right. Because it's shown all of these teams lost the game between the 20s. Each and every one. But when it came time to, hey, I need to stop, I need to play, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So that's just a moment there. Anything from the Chiefs-Texas game, fellas?
No, I'm just tired of seeing the Chiefs. I don't want to see another Chiefs Super Bowl. I don't want to see another Chiefs Bills game. This is the 5th time in a row, the 5th year in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to see another Chiefs Bills game. And also, I hate to sound insensitive. I hate to be that guy. We need to start knocking quarterbacks' heads off. And when it start happening, it's Patrick Mahomes' fault. Because if a quarterback gonna be in the middle of a slot and I'm trying to stop my momentum and I'm barely touching him, I'm getting a penalty. If a quarterback is penalty baiting and flopping out of bounds when I'm barely touching him, you might as well earn them 15 yards.
Hey, it's like when you got suspended for school from arguing with the kids. So now I got to whip the wheels off you. Because now, like,
exactly,
I'm gonna get beat when I get home. Either way, I'm the one way I'm gonna earn it. The other way, I'm gonna get, you know. Right. Just don't worry about it. I'm gonna see you after class. So, you know, it's just a very, very tough time there. I'll tell you what, these Chiefs just keep finding ways. They find ways. You know, every time you think, oh, that's it. They're done. Oh yeah, this team is finally gonna come back. They can't do it. And as much as people say like, oh, the refs are on the Chiefs side and all that, there's something about the Chiefs that makes other teams make dumb decisions. You know, it's something about the Chiefs that makes teams say, yeah, I could just get a regular stop here. We have been locking y'all up all day. I'm going to hold your tight end right here. Oh, we have been getting home all day. I need to hit Mahomes in the head to let him know I'm here. Like, come on, man. You can't blame the refs for stuff like that. That's just you being an idiot. Chris, what you got for us?
I think the Chiefs is just they have the perfect balance of mid with elite, if that makes sense. I'll give you an example. You got Patrick Mahomes, right? And then you got Xavier Worthy, right? He's just the right amount of mid with his speed that somebody that's elite can make him good, right? Then you got old man type Travis Kelce, who had the game of his life last game,
right?
And then you got what's the guard that blocks on his side? Gibbs,
Joe Tooney.
Yep, Joe Tooney, right? Perfect balance of past his prime but still serviceable. But he got this right guard right here that's gonna make sure he gets enough separation off that line.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact.
And I think
Joe Tooney played together at NC State.
Right. Yeah. That's why I knew you would know his name.
Bad boy. Bad dude.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is Andy Reid has all of the puzzle pieces that he needs. I mean, he don't really have to go spend a lot of money. And just to think, if Ray Rice played this season, the Chiefs would still have a number one receiver, wide receiver one. They don't even have a wide receiver one right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kareem Hunt looking like he turned the clock back. I thought he was going to be out of the league.
I mean, we all knew. We all knew like that. It was never about skill as the reason that he wasn't. You just can't go around kicking nobody, especially not a white woman. That's crazy. That is insane.
Man.
Like, what? Like, it don't matter the reason. Just leave. Just tell her that. Honestly, when Kareem Hunt was on the verge of getting kicked out the league, him and Nick Chubb was the best 1-2 punch in the league. There was no doubt, like, oh yeah, those two are, that's it. They're primo, they're tops.
And they was Montgomery and Gibbs before Montgomery and Gibbs. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. But just imagine if both Montgomery and Gibbs were 215 plus.
I know.
Yeah, that's what you had to contend with. And, things happened the way they did. So it was disappointing, but it kind of is what it is on that front. But I'll tell you what, Bills, Chiefs, fellas, give me your predictions. Who you got winning? Is it finally the Bills' year to get over that hump?
No, I got Chiefs. It's gonna be a nasty game. It's gonna be a gritty game. It's gonna be one of those games that the Chiefs been winning all year when majority of the game is 13-3 and the Chiefs put together some miracle run. I think final score, I got 20. I got 20-17 Chiefs.
Chris, what you got?
Mahomes is Josh Allen's father. He needs to write him Father's Day cards. But I got Chiefs winning, so I'm gonna even go a little different on the score. I'm gonna go 27-18, something like that. It's some nasty score like that.
There's something in me that's telling me this game is gonna be a blowout, but I don't know which way. I don't know who's gonna do the blowing out, because I don't know if the Chiefs are like finally at that point where it's like, we're exhausted. This is just too much old hat for us. And like the Bills are hungry and they need it. Or if the Bills are going to have that game where they're like, oh, we're playing that team that we just can't beat. And they just come out way too tight and make way too many little mistakes that are uncharacteristic. So I know this game is going to be a blowout. I just don't know who's going to do the winning in this one. But because of the way that Chiefs devil magic is set up, I'm not going to go against it. That's like going against Brady in his prime. That was a bad bet. You were giving away money. So I think that Mahomes and company win big here. NFC side, we have an all NFC least conference championship. Yay. Okay. Micah Parsons is still sitting at home. By the way, Micah Parsons is still sitting at home. Just letting you all know. Anywho, who y'all got in the NFC championship?
Give me the Commanders.
Okay.
I don't think that's a non-feasible thing. The Commanders beat my Lions. I want to see them go all the way, and they have some really good decision making. And I think the Eagles are one of those veteran teams that can easily make some mistakes. I can see the Commanders forcing the Eagles to make the same mistakes that they forced the Lions to make.
Chris, who you got?
I'm going Commanders just because Jalen Hurts did not look like the same Jalen Hurts, and if you think about it, they started that game against the Rams really good because he was able to get out the pocket and get some yards early. The second half, he barely got out the pocket. Even when he threw the ball, he was a little side-to-side, sidearm throw to a receiver. We haven't really seen his passing game pick up the last 4 weeks. He doesn't have to throw the ball as much, but I just don't see the Commanders making the same mistakes that the Rams did and not packing that box. Like make Jalen Hurts beat us on his one leg.
The Eagles rested, or not even that. The Eagles, when they played the Commanders last, that was kind of the start of the Commanders really and truly showing teams, hey, we're for real here. And they won that game by 3 points, 36-33. The series right now is split on the season. Both teams have one win. I don't believe the Commanders get another here. I'm going Eagles. I think that this game is going to come down to, is my offensive coordinator smart enough to say, hey, they can't stop the run. We run the ball well. I think this is too good to be true. Let's just do our thing here. So I've got the Eagles winning this one, going away. And that's just all there is to that. But, you know, we talked about this earlier. We talked about the Lions and what happened with them and how their head coach was allegedly being lured away to the Bears while, you know, they were still supposed to be game plan and all that, which seems to be true based on how quickly the entire staff was assembled. And now we have a situation where in the college ranks, people were saying the same things about Marcus Freeman potentially getting poached from Notre Dame. And we'll get there in just a second. But fellas, what do y'all think about a potential rule stopping all coach interviews during the postseason or until the season is completely over?
I definitely think that should be a rule. Just because I think that I see a lot of coaches, their interests don't necessarily align, especially when they have really big games coming up. Let's say, for example, we're not even in a situation like watching the Lions game. I feel like Ben Johnson didn't make good play calling the same way that he did all season. His play calling was different. I think he made a lot of mistakes, and you can't necessarily say that coincided with him getting the coaching job from the Bears. You can say this had nothing to do with the bad play calling. He wasn't disinterested in the game, but you can also look at it from a perspective of he know he got this job coming up. He know he got interviews coming up. His routine might not be the same. His regimen might not be the same. He might be under a different kind of pressure knowing that I just think it don't align, especially when you got teams that's deep in the playoff. You're trying to make a playoff run. What's the difference between him having those interviews now and if they make the Super Bowl, having those interviews in 3 weeks? The season training camp don't start for another couple months. What's the difference in that 3 week window?
Yeah, for sure. Chris, what you think? Should this be a rule? Should it be allowed? What you think?
I think it should be allowed. So you guys are looking. Well, you ain't speak yet, but Guy, you look at it from one perspective, right? His regimen might be different and stuff like that. You can have pressure on him. But what about the opposite? What if they said, "Listen, when your season's over, we're going to offer you the job"? That could have fired me up. Now I'm showing out for my new boss, right? I'm showing out for my new organization, and if I get the Super Bowl win, I could be on top of the mountain. So honestly, I think it doesn't really matter to me. I don't think he threw the game because he knew he was getting the Bears job, nor do I think he had any sway in trying to diminish the Lions in their Super Bowl quest, because that could only have elevated him as a candidate for a position, right? If it wasn't the Bears job, then he could have got the Raiders job, for example, that's open, or the Cowboys job, which we know Jerry Jones would never do that. But he could have got another job if he won the Super Bowl. So I think it's fine. I don't think it sways the needle either way.
You know, I think it should be banned because look at how quickly that staff was assembled. As soon as it was announced, it was like, oh, the staff is in place. This is what's happening. Like, my thing is this. And I know some people say, well, you know, he probably got that together while the team had a bye week the week before and yada, 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 so on and so forth. I get that. I really do. The problem is this. Even that week before, to me, football is more about you and what you do than anything else. One thing that I learned at a very early age that kept being reaffirmed to me all throughout my entire career, up until my retirement in NC State, was the best teams don't adjust to everybody else. You make people adjust to what you do.
Yep.
That's what the game will always be about. Who is the best at being themselves? And when you are out making things happen and getting a staff together, you cannot possibly be doing the proper amount of self-scout. You cannot possibly be doing the proper amount of, hey, I'm taking care of what needs to be taken care of in-house before I think about anything else. Because now you're saying, well, who's going to be our defensive coordinator? Who's going to be our offensive coordinator? Who's going to be my special teams coach? Who's going to be this coach? Who's going to be that coach? Which puts you at a definitive disadvantage. You know what coach said he wasn't doing any interviews until after the season's over? One Clifford Reginald Kingsbury. And don't get me wrong, Cliff Kingsbury and his offense did have the advantage of playing against hotel workers. I get it. The Lions had a ton of injuries. You know what I mean? Dan Campbell called me up and said, hey, Gibbs, you got a couple reps of pass rushing? I said, hey, I'm good, man. I appreciate the opportunity, but I can't even hurt the city like that. So I understand. I understand that, but, it's still disappointing nonetheless. And again, I don't want to see it. I don't want to keep seeing this. And my biggest question is this. What is the difference? What's the difference? If you really, and from a very genuine standpoint right now, right? If you fire your coach in the middle of the season and then you hire your new coach the first week of the offseason or whatever the case may be, right? That guy still can't do jack squat until the appropriate time after the season. You're not making any new signings. You're not designing anything like, hey, this is how this head coach wants. You're not doing all those things before the Super Bowl. They're just not, because it's illegal. It's literally illegal. Like, you can't. So, it's very disheartening to see that. And again, I think the NFL needs to do something about it, because this ain't even about the Lions. It's just nasty business in general to have that going on when you're trying to win one game. And like I said earlier, Marcus Freeman was a guy that many people put up for that Bears job. However, it seems he is safe and secure at Notre Dame despite their loss to Ohio State in this national championship. Fellas, what are your takeaways from the national championship where, again, Ohio State has bested Notre Dame here?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I kept up with the score on ESPN just because I wanted to know who won. I saw... I got a notification saying that Notre Dame was catching up. I tuned in with about 3 minutes to go in the fourth. I saw that Ohio State had the ball back. Monday Night Raw was on, and I would rather watch paint dry than watch the Ohio State Buckeyes win a national championship. I mean, I hate both teams, but I would. It ain't been a good week. The Lions lost, the Buckeyes national champions. I don't love sports more than I hate Ohio State.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Chris, what's your takeaway for the national championship?
Man, bro, can we go back to a different organization for the college football playoffs? Because what? Words can't describe the disgust I have or how lopsided this college football playoffs was. How lopsided it was. I mean, can we take Gibbs' idea and really just let automation just make the picks, right? Really let automation make the picks. We had to watch Ohio State and Notre Dame, two teams where not a lot of people win. You're only an Ohio State fan if you're from Ohio or you went to Ohio State. Or you're an Ohio State fan. You only are a Notre Dame fan if you don't like the race that came from overseas. Okay. Okay. So let's be real here. Nobody won in this. I guess somebody did. The people from Ohio and people that went to Ohio State won. But, I mean, golly, that was hard to watch, man.
I disagree. I think y'all are missing the biggest winners there is. This Ohio State roster was allegedly the most expensive in the nation by quite some margin. And they went on to win the national championship. You know what that means? It's a copycat league, baby. Every high school player in America should be dancing in the streets. I don't care if you a 3-star. You need to get outside and hit your best jig. You need to turn on that Kanye West. He's done miracles on me because he's about to do miracles on your family. Now that people saw the way to get wins, the way to win a championship, the way to do things like Ohio State did it is you combine the two, yes, in terms of guys who are tenured and guys who have been there for a while with guys who are, you know, a new infusion of elder statesmen in the transfer portal and all that. You combine that with again, all of that money flowing to get the best guys. Oh, everybody's about to be paid. Ohio State just drove up the price of the cat. They just drove up the price.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The NIL is about to tear this league up.
Oh, man.
NIL about
You know
to
what I
tear.
got to say about the NIL?
What?
The past 20, 25 years where we've seen the SEC dominate everything, that's done with.
Oh, yeah, that's 1,000% no.
Alabama,
1,000% no.
Auburn, those
Georgia,
teams
they
cooked. Because
cooked.
those teams took advantage of a lot of very talented but poor kids from that area. You could offer them a little money under the table. They can stay close to home, and they all good. Now them kids can go play wherever they want to and get the same amount of bread, if not more. And those successful areas are probably going to be surrounded by people with money. Oregon fans going to be able to afford more Oregon jerseys than Alabama fans going to be able to afford Alabama jerseys. The SEC is cooked.
Yeah, you might be right. You know what? You know what the great equalizer of all this is? Yeah, you want everybody want to be near home, and you know you want Granny to come see you play and all that. You know what's worth more than Granny coming to see you play? A house, a car, about 300 band. Do y'all know how much Bryce Underwood is getting paid per year to go to Michigan?
No idea.
I believe
$5 million, something like that.
The contract I believe is like $12 million or something along those lines, or that was the agreement.
It's $5 million per year, I think. Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you. Boy,
Like you realize, like, do they realize, like, even if you don't go to the league and you invest all of that, the rule of 72, it should double.
Listen, not even invest all of it. Even if we look at it very like you were young and dumb and spent half of it immediately. Okay. I mean, even after taxes, we would say you're left with 6. Even if you spent half of that 6 immediately, you spent 3, never played a snap in the NFL now, you still have $3 million. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I was watching the Ball Brothers podcast earlier, and they were talking about how much would it take for you to make a bad stand-up and put it out on Netflix. And one of the guys said, I wouldn't do it for $500,000. I said, boy, you got too much integrity for me. You got too much integrity. It ain't like I'm hurting nobody and doing nothing.
I mean, the Ball Brothers all worth a couple million themselves.
Oh, no. It was the Bald Brothers podcast. It's Tony Baker and Kev on stage.
Okay.
I thought you said the Ball Brothers. I was like, oh, I mean, $500,000 bring nothing to them.
I'm just saying, bro. And Kev on stage got the most money out of everybody out there. He ain't crazy, and I ain't crazy either. All right, listen. These players, again, high school players, gonna be dancing in the streets, okay? Because the team that just paid up, they coughed up the bread, they won. They got what they wanted, and that was that. So, you know, I honestly and truly look at them and I say, more power to you. Get paid, young brothers, get paid. Go get the money. You know what I mean? I ain't never
think about this. 10 years from now, college gonna be so expensive because of this, bro. Like, people gonna get priced out of going to college, bro. I mean, it already is now.
I was just about to say, I don't know. Right. I don't know.
It already is now, but I'm talking about like even like upper middle class people. Like they literally gonna have to spend like $600K to go to college. Like, it's gonna be ridiculous, bro. It's gonna be.
I mean, well, the money is coming from revenue share. So it's
100%. But you're gonna need new facilities. You're gonna need new this. You're gonna have to put more people on staff. A lot of expenses come out of this, kids. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I do think that it is gonna come at some increased price. I don't think it'll come at that much of an increased price where we're looking at $500,000 for a state school. Like that's
okay.
That's
my Ivy League school right now is almost $250, Gibbs.
That's what. But Ivy is Ivy. Ivy is different.
What I'm saying is, these schools now gonna catch up to Ivy, and Ivy's ain't gonna do nothing but get bigger.
Oh, stop it! And what an Ivy offers in terms of life opportunities is extremely different than what
100%.
a Maryland offers. than what a Nebraska offers.
I still don't think Ivy Leagues will get involved in this NIL just because I don't think the fan base that support those Ivy Leagues. I don't think you about to see a stadium full of Yale football fans going hard.
You out your mind. You out your mind. So when the first hold on. See, this is why it's good to have a historian around. This is why it's good. Do y'all remember who like the first national like dynasty was in college football? It was Yale. Yale and Harvard. They were the Yale, Harvard, Brown. They were the first teams winning national championships. You know why? Because Bama ain't had no damn money compared to them. Michigan ain't had no money compared to them. Minnesota, poor compared to those Ivy Leagues.
I'm telling you, bro.
So the endowments that they get now,
this money about to start coming from somewhere else.
By the way, for the first time ever, or I'm sorry, not the first time. Yeah, actually, I believe for the first time ever, yes. For the first time ever, Ivy League teams can now participate in the FCS playoffs. Y'all think that was by mistake? Oh, they don't give. Listen, if you believe that those nerds will be happy losing just because they're nerds, you haven't met nerds. You haven't watched the Revenge of the Nerds movies. Those were some of the sickest, most vindictive men that you'll ever see. And if you've ever met a nerd who like is now up a little bit, I'm not saying all of them. There are a good portion that are cool. A lot of them act exactly like that. So, I just, again, if I'm looking at this thing, I think that, those high school ball players dancing in the streets, absolute jubilation, because, why wouldn't you be? And speaking of absolute jubilation, I'm absolutely overjoyed, overwhelmed, overloved seeing Cade Cunningham finally start to get his flowers. 107-96 over the Rockets yesterday. What a great MLK day it was. That was by far the most significant thing to happen in the world yesterday. The Pistons beating the Rockets. Oh, what a time. Just tracking this record before we get out of here. At the moment, the Pistons are 22-21. And the Rockets are 28-14. So just letting y'all know, at about the halfway point in the season, the Pistons are 6 games behind. If we double that, goes up to 12. So I know that there was a bet about 20 or so more games. How do y'all feel about that bet right now? Y'all still feel confident? You still feel good about it? You still feel good about that bet?
I wouldn't necessarily say confident, but it's still a lot of season to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna see what happens. I will say I give the Pistons a lot of credit. At no point in time did I doubt the amount of talent that the Pistons had, but seeing how poorly coached they were, I didn't see a coach being able to come in and turn this around in one season. I didn't think that Monty Williams was that bad of a coach to where somebody could come in and just have a glaring difference of like, oh yeah, he just didn't know how to coach basketball.
So here's the thing. I didn't watch enough of the Pistons games one for one all the way through to say like, oh man, the Pistons were terrible until like the midpoint of the season when I really started getting into my redacted bag. Redacted being I'm not telling y'all the streaming service I use to stream these games. When I started to get into that bag, I start realizing like it's not a joke that Killian Hayes was playing minutes that he shouldn't have been playing. Like, objectively speaking, he added normally when you look at NBA players, you're like, well, what can't he do? And it may be like a list. It may be a list of things that like the average role player, oh, he can't do this, 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 and this. That's not his thing. But he can do this, this, and this. At least one thing, if you don't have like a list of 3-4 things you do at a high level or like at least a mid-level, you got 1 or 2 things that you're a star at. Killian Hayes did not meet either one of those requirements. And yet he was getting minutes over Jay Nivey, who met multiple of those. When you look at Jay Nivey, superstar athleticism. There is no argument against like, hey, that kid has a motor like crazy and superstar athleticism. That cannot be argued. That cannot be debated. Those are just measurable facts. measurable by everything he did at the NBA Combine, measurable by everything else, and you had Killian damn Hayes taking his minutes. I know what you are, Monty. I know exactly what you are. Don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about it. You're packed up, and I'm so happy about it. Hey, Bickerstaff, keep it rolling, brother. Keep it rolling, because I'm enjoy what's coming next. Chris, how you feeling about this bet? You confident? Because I'm extremely confident. I'm feeling great.
Listen, the Pistons for sure hooping. I ain't taking nothing from them. I mean, my precedence was that Cade Cunningham hadn't played this many games ever. So I was like,
that's fair.
If history repeats itself, he gonna come out cooking again, get a rhythm, and then gonna get hurt, right? But then, you know, now we seeing the full-fledged Cade Cunningham. And also, I mean, I'm a big component for vets in the locker room, and they have the best vets in the locker room right now. The best vets in the locker room. Tobias Harris is known to be one of the best locker room voices known to man.
Yeah.
What's the guy shooting the blood off the ball right now? I can't think of his name. Beasley, another good locker room guy. One of the best locker room guys in the league. I mean, I haven't even seen Beef Stew get into too many arguments this year. I mean, the Pistons is clicking on all facets of the game.
Told that boy, you play with Legos. Get your soft ass out of here. That's my center right there. Detroit, when they get that undersized, tough center, you better watch out, boy. You better watch out.
But once again, Detroit fans, overhyped and overestimated.
This man can't get them boys no love. I know y'all tired of Chris hateration and holleration. I know y'all tired of us complaining about the Lions. And I know y'all tired of us. By the way, Ben Johnson, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress, Ben Johnson. You look stupid without a hat. And you went to Chicago without a hat. And you look stupid, Ben. You look stupid. I wish you nothing but the worst. I hope all the bad things for you. And I'm still sad that you're leaving. So I know y'all tired of hearing me sob about that too. But come on back the next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.